And they're like, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
And that's what I really liked about jiu-jitsu, that it was fighting guys that are squirrely, unlike the fighting big old ogre giants, unlike that are just massively strong. Unlike to finding what ways would you be able to defeat this person. Like the big strong dudes, they got huge old barrel necks and their arms are just extremely strong. So trying to get any technique on that upper side of the body is very difficult to get on them. But their legs, because they're so used to just worrying about their top, their legs are just open game. They're not used to like protecting their legs because they never had to.
Yeah.
So then I started learning how to just take them out, just getting them on knee locks, on ankle locks, different things in their legs. So then I was able to start getting my game good on that to be able to take out guys that are that big. Until I started building some more muscle and getting more into my body type to be able to compete and get those submissions, those arm bars or those chokes with them, because it was a whole nother business trying to learn that.
Now, what were your chess buddies thinking when you were getting all diesel and beating people up? They're like, you can't hang out with us anymore.
I did it. Nobody knew. That was the funny part. I kind of kept it a secret. A lot of things I usually done, people never found out until it was too late, because I kind of just kept it a secret that that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I could.
So it was just
I can see that.
Me. Yeah,
I could see it. Because we all spent 7 days together, and there's no way that any of us could sit down and say, yeah, I know this person. But what I can say is that the more I get to know some of you, the more I'm just in awe, and like, you guys are these like spectacles. It's fun to watch you. You're pieces of art, and it's weird because there's so much involved with a lot of you. You know what I mean? And like you're saying, you don't boast about some of this stuff. Like, I didn't know you were into stunts or acting until 3 or 4 days into the whole process, and I was like, oh, who's that? But before we even get into that, what led your parents? What was kind of the deciding factor to move from Guadalajara to the States?
Opportunity.
Yeah.
That's practically the main thing, because over there, trying to work the same amount of hours, the same amount of time as a person that works here, you're getting paid cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Like out there. And if you don't have already a family of influence or of stature out there, then it is extremely difficult to be able to go to school and try to further your education or try to get something to be able to get more money and be able to support your family better. Like, those opportunities are few and far between, especially out there. And then in the town they were from Tequila and Magdalena, Jalisco, it's just little rural towns outside of Guadalajara. So the opportunities, they found that if they stayed there, that the most, they're going to start getting, especially the males, they'll start getting talked to about to get into the cartels.
Uh-huh.
And get into like different gangs and things like that, because then they'll see like there's money in this. Why you picking up a broom?
Yeah.
I'm like, you ain't gonna make no money doing that or cleaning cars. Like, come over here.
Yeah.
You see these big checks, these big wallets we get, and that's how they entice a lot of like the younger generation to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
But from my mom and my dad seeing that at a young age, how that shit's been very destructive to towns, they rather just saved up as much as they could just to be able to pay the fee of getting across the border and then figuring it out.
Yeah. Now, what was that like? So you said that your mom, hooked up with the
came up.
And so you were 5 going on 6 at that time. So
yeah,
that's a point in kids' lives that they start to have very strong memories about what's going on. So do you remember that vividly?
Yeah, I just remember being in a van with a bunch of different people, from different ages, everything, and just being quiet in a van and just being there for hours for a while until we got to some house in like Santa area, and then we all got like taken out of the van. Then we went inside this house where there was already other people just hanging out, waiting, I guess, for their loved ones to pay whatever they owe so they can get let go. So that's what we had to do. We just waited there most of the day till my dad came through with, I guess, now that I'm older, the rest of the money. Cause we both came over to pay the people, and then they let us go. But yeah, we were just there. People were just eating. Kids were watching like TV. So it was nothing. It was just a weird experience because I was like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
Yeah.
I'm like, why do we have to wait here for my dad? Well, why can't we just leave, or why can't I go outside the house and go play outside? Because everybody had to stay inside the house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, so you're growing up, you're moving around all Southern California because your dad's out there trying to get some money, take care of the family. And at some point, you have to become the man of the house, right?
Yeah.
Now, can you talk about that?
I'm like, well, my dad finally, like, busting his ass, I guess, for years of not having no money or anything, like, finally was able to get his green card, and he got sponsored through one of the owners of a construction company, because he learned that he had to come here and learn English and to play the game, to be able to be a piece in this puzzle out here, to be able to make moves. And a lot of my family members came over, and they were reluctant to learn English, or they were just too lazy. And the old man, remember, he just, even after working long days, he would go, I think at night school, I remember he'd go and he was taking like English classes to get his English better, because he knew that was the only way that he would be able to become like a foreman or a superintendent or something, because now he can talk to the workers and to Americans and be able to translate what is it that you need.
Yeah.
Finally got a break when I was 15 years old. 16 years old, he got a break getting his own, becoming like the general manager of a company. And I guess as the money went to his head, put him, I guess, in another social class, be able to get things and do things that he never was able to do before, that he wasn't prepared, I guess, mentally for it. And it just kind of hurt on the family, because then he just picked up and left my mom, me. I got 3 younger brothers to just, I guess, figure it out. So at a young age, at like 16, when this was happening, I knew already I can't depend on this adult figure that I admired all this time, that now he's just crushing my heart and my future, because I'm like, he's not going to be around. I can see it. He's saying he's going to be here. It's going to help me go to school, but I don't believe it. Yeah. I see that there's lie in his eyes, so I just got to man up and figure it out. And that was one of the main reasons I joined the military, for to be able to know that I will have money for schooling afterwards.
And how did you know that was an option?
The recruiters were hot at that time, coming through and talking about that at the school.
Gotcha.
They were out there fishing, and and recruiters be loving getting the lower classes and inner city kids, and they don't go to Harvard and try to pull guys, or freaking Stanford.
Yeah.
Or Brentwood, and they don't go out there try to recruit kids.
Yeah.
Those are rich kids.
Yeah.
And you'll get the poor kids.
Yeah.
So hey, I was a poor kid. I was like, it was the only option I could see at the time, because if anything, if I go to school, I go to a community college, I'm gonna have to get a part-time job that's gonna pay horribly. I'm like, and then doing junior college, it's not gonna take 2 years. It takes way more than 2 years just for an AA to try to get classes and do their whole curriculum. Because I started seeing how their structure and how long things would take. I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna be here for 4 years to get a 2-year degree. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's all hindsight for me, because I was not that intellectual when it comes to college at that time in my life. I just knew that, like, if I went to college, that I knew I didn't want to go to the 13th grade. I just knew I was just done. But
I was done. Yeah, kind of like that. I'm like, I didn't want no more school. 12 years of it, you kind of like burned down. They're like, oh, okay, here's another 4 on top. You're like, man, give me a break.
yeah.
Can I take a breather?
Yeah.
But I'm like, give me some, like, let me kick back for a couple of years. Let me figure this out, what I really want to do. I'm like, because it took me a while to figure that out even after the military. What was what field did I really want to go into? But I'm like, that the option at the time, especially when I joined, was after 9/11. I would put Channel 11 News every morning that they're on to go to school, but seeing the freaking towers falling and all that. So all that just added more to things that I'm like, I think this is where I need to go do to help out the country, but also help out myself and my family. That's priority number one. Because if I'm not doing it, I'm like, the country, yes, I love it so much, but they're not going to come and turn these wrenches or see what's wrong, see who's sick. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got to do that part. So, just trying to help. Yeah, it was just, everything just kind of piled up in that year after that incident. And I had my mom sign the waiver to join before 18. So she had to sign. She thought she was signing my death certificate now that I talked to her. So that's a horrible feeling. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that didn't even cross my mind that what I was making you sign, you're thinking your kid's going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Well, it's funny, peculiar, not haha. Because I was going to ask what that conversation was like, that you're about to leave in this time of war, because my mom had to sign mine too at 17, and I didn't get that feeling because we didn't have a war going on, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I guess it was difficult, but at the same time, I think I wasn't looking too much if we were gonna go to war. I was like, oh, they're probably gonna figure out who did this, what's going down. Not until like boot camp, that's when the orders came down that they're like, hey, this is serious, we are going to war. I'm like, oh shit, okay, so we are fighting against these people. I'm like, I just got here, I have no training. I'm like, where are you gonna send me bare bones? I'm green in the ears, I know nothing. I'm like, but it was just hard for my mom to just accept that. But I told her either she's gonna do it now, or I'm gonna wait until I'm 18, and then I'm gonna do it. Then I don't need their permission anymore or their signatures. I can do it myself.
There's one question I want to ask before we get into like the military aspect, right? And, and that's, now that you're a forced role model, right? Your dad up and left, and you've got 3 younger brothers under you, kind of looking up. Now, what's the age difference?
4 years, 6 and 7.
Wow.
So I'm like, when I was like 16 years old, my next brother was 12, and then from there was like 9 and 8.
Yeah. So now you got legitimate young men looking up to you, right? Now, did you know at the time what passing on values and setting a foundation for success meant?
No, I guess I was just trying to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Yeah, just survive,
just trying to, I guess even my brother, they just saw what happened, and then now I'm more of the father figure now with them, but at the time I was just trying to keep my mom sane, keep the house good, and then because of this incident or what this man just up and left, that they will start taking the wrong path and start hanging around with the wrong crowd. So that was my main thing, also to have them, keep them in their sports and keep them on what they need to do. And if my mom needed some money, I was like, if I join the military, I get 3 meals a day, I can have somewhere to sleep, I can kick down, and now we could put my brothers in that. Keep them in soccer, keep them in these sports or in these different activities, so they don't have to start deviating into the wrong path that just because of this person and mess up your life. So I was like, let me help out the best way I can so they don't go and do some shit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's fast forward into now you're in the Army. What'd you do in the Army?
I was a 19 Delta Calvary Scout in the Army, so I did reconnaissance, I drove Bradleys, Humvees, I flown on Blackhawks, air assault, There's airborne. So we're just navigating and